outside was terrific. The weather just perfect. It's going to have a little bit of a fall chill here tonight by the end of the evening in Champaign here at the century-old Memorial Stadium on the campus of the University of Illinois. Tonight's Stay in the Game sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Well, if you're Kansas, buckle up your chin straps, baby. This physical offense from Illinois, you know they're going to want to run it with Caden Fagan. 6'3", 250-pound running back. Are you kidding me? In Illinois, you have to contain Jalen Daniels. Notice I didn't say stop Jalen Daniels because you don't stop Jalen Daniels. You just hope to contain him, and that's something that they need to do in the pocket. You know, you have to be disciplined rushing a guy like that. You can't get above his level because with his athleticism, although he's normally looking to use it to pass, he can use it to escape completely and get downfield.
Illinois wearing their throwback helmets. It's a celebration, a year-long celebration of the history of this stadium that will officially celebrate 100 years next month.
Now, how awesome is this, man? A few years ago, both of these programs really struggling. So cool to see it. I'm sure Illinois, based on what happened a year ago when they went to Kansas and lost, they're happy to have an opportunity to go against them here at home. You know, Matthew Bailey, the safety, was saying he was watching that game from home. He was injured. He couldn't play in it. He said he was so mad he was yelling at his TV, but he's a smart guy. He didn't throw anything at the TV to break it, although with NIL, I guess you could buy a new one.
Hey, the crowd here, terrific. Great environment.
It's so cool. The orange out. Here we go.
Underway. And it'll be a touchback to begin the night. Illinois had won the toss and deferred, so Kansas will begin with the ball. And you mentioned Jalen Daniels in his 5th season, returning as one of the top quarterbacks in the Big 12. He entered the season top 10 on KU's all-time passing list. And well, he can do it both ways, right, with his legs and with his arm.
Yeah, we talk about that athleticism, but as I said a little bit here ago, he normally uses that athleticism to just escape pressure, and he is just so mobile and so quick. Great lateral movement, but he keeps his eyes downfield and absolutely fearless. Doesn't matter who's bearing down on him, he's got his eyes downfield, ready to make the throw.
Devin Neal in the backfield, decorated running back. Daniels' pass is deflected, and a good start to the night for the Illini defense. Let's take a look at the Jayhawks offense. 9-4 last season, picking up 5 conference wins. This offensive line, not a total rebuild, but they've had to bring a couple of parts and pieces in from outside the program. This, though, the backs and the receivers, boy, as deep as it gets in the Big 12.
Yeah, certainly, and Devin Neal got great lateral movement for a big man, but you talked about those wide receivers. Quentin Skinner, 6'5", Lawrence Arnold, the playmaker, Emilian, and Luke Grimm, who they call 7'11", always open.
Yeah, everybody can touch the ball in a variety of ways. Neal, first team all Big 12 last year, gets the call here. He had 167 scrimmage yards against the Illini last season. Take a look at the Illini and their defense. This was an area that needed a lot of improvement. A couple years ago, remember, this Illinois defense was showing a lot of promise. Not so last season. There's Daniels, tripped up, but gaining a first down for the Jayhawks. Jalen Daniels, week 1. Again, like both these programs, they scheduled FCS teams. Neither team really tested. 9 of 15, 148 yards through the air. Didn't have a single rushing attempt last week, so getting that motor started early tonight.
Yeah, and keep an eye on this Illinois defense. A lot of times you'll see them in a 5-man front, you know, three down and 2 outside. See early on here, going with 4 down. They know that they're going to be in 11 personnel, Kansas, as an offense. So they want to get some extra defenders to defend the pass.
Luke Grimm in motion, gets the call, and he's wrapped up immediately. Xavier Scott tracked him the whole way. Honorable mention, all Big 10 last season.
But a lot of physical players, and that's what you're going to get from a Brett Bielema coach team. And boy, Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator who played under Brett Bielema, man, just such positive energy out of him. But he just loves to get these guys cranked up. And he said, job number 1 today, be physical. You can see it right there from Scott.
2nd down and 8. Handoff, and Neal just took a hard shot. Fought his way through it. Seth Coleman involved on the tackle, but a 3rd and short here for KU. Evan Neal, top 5 in rushing yards in the Big 12 each of the last 3 seasons as the Jayhawks get aligned rather quickly.
Watch Jared Casey going in motion here.
A hard count here from Daniels, resetting the play at the line. Play fake, swing it to the outside. Grimm has the first down. Pushed out of bounds by Scott. First down for KU.
Well, clearly they saw something with the motion. They wanted to get reset. They got into the right play here, and we talked about Grimm always catching the ball, but a nice physical finish to the run right there. You can see the frustration from Xavier Scott, not able to stop him before he got the first down.
This Kansas team averaged 35 points per game last season, 446 yards of offense per game. Especially over the second half of the season, their run game did a lot of the damage. Daniels to pass, and it's well covered. Chase Canada. And Xavier Scott, boy, as Scott made his mark early in this game, Skinner the intended target.
Yeah, Xavier Scott, you know, Miles Scott is the green dot on that defense. You usually hear his name, but they're throwing those short passes underneath and into Xavier Scott's area. You can see him break on that one early. Almost an opportunity to step in front of that one.
Scott Jr. from Riviera Beach, Florida.
Packed box here. Daniels to run. And Daniels meets resistance right at midfield. Only a gain of about 2. Dennis Briggs Jr., 7th-year senior, brought him down 3rd and long. Boy, Dennis Briggs Jr., he had been at Florida State, and he said Jaden Daniels reminded him of Jordan Travis, another mobile quarterback. He said, I know how to get those mobile quarterbacks. That time, though, just using those hands to destroy the block. Get home, make the play.
Third and long. A couple of 3rd downs already, but those are both 3rd and short. As Daniels looks to the sideline, KU, I know they've got the radios and the helmets. They still love to give signals the old-fashioned way so that everybody's on the same page. Daniels looking, scrambling, throwing, intercepted. Xavier Scott making his mark early in this game tonight. And KU, who had 2 early turnovers last week against Lindenwood, an FCS program, they turn it over on the first series here tonight.
Well, Xavier Scott almost stepped in front of one earlier. He steps in front of it here. The Illini will have the ball when we get back. Campaign, we're going to take a look at that interception by Xavier Scott here. You can see him lined up at that linebacker spot. Going to bring him in as a nickel. But as Luke Grimm releases, he's going to be with him all the way. And look at the position. He turns and has his hand on him the whole time. Great position. Really a poor decision to throw that one. See Xavier Scott. He knows how to pick the ball off. He knows how to celebrate, too. I don't know what this is all about, but it's fun, man, and I love it.
So Luke Altmaier and the Illini offense take over. Caden Fagan gets the call to begin the night, and a nice run on first down. He led Illinois with 16 attempts for a career-high 109 yards in week 1. Kobe Bryant, the talented corner, makes the tackle for Kansas. And for Luke Altmaier, his first drive in week 1, 5 plays, just 20 yards. The offense got in rhythm after that. Altmaier, who battled concussion at the end of last season, feels really good to start this year. Here's Fagan again. Big Ten honorable mention as a true freshman last year. That's a nice power run. Mello Dotson brings him down. And this Illinois offense, they lost their top rusher in Reggie Love. Need more consistency from the run game this year, but they have a really experienced offensive line for their running backs this season.
Well, experienced, but not necessarily experienced here at the University of Illinois. J.C. Davis in from New Mexico at that left tackle spot. Melvin Priestley in from Grambling at the right tackle spot.
Altmaier to pass, hits his target. Zachary Franklin into plus territory. And we'll take a look at the KU defense with an upcoming 2nd down here. Kansas, 3 points allowed in week 1, the fewest for any Kansas team in a game since 2009. A lot of veterans return on this side of the ball as well, led by Kobe Bryant and Mello Dotson in the secondary. 2nd and 4. Fagan again, tripped up in the backfield. Well read by Marvin Grant, former Purdue Boilermaker who's familiar with Big Ten territory. Third down.
Marvin Grant, physical but smart. You come in for a tackle on Caden Fagan, 6'3", 250 pounds. Best to go low, right? Incredible stat about Caden Fagan from a year ago. 95 carries a year ago. Only 2 times did he get stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
He cemented himself as the starter over the second half of the season. At running back. Altmyer to pass, pumps, throws, and connects for a first down. It's Zachary Franklin. Grant on the tackle, but Franklin, the Ole Miss transfer, with the reception.
Really a tremendous throw here from Luke Altmyer, and that second window opening. He just looks so poised sitting back there in the pocket. And again, we had talked to Barry Lunny, the offensive coordinator, and he said really informing the game plans. It's been a much better process this year, because a year ago, Luke Altmyer would say, yeah, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. This play works for me. I'm fine with all of this stuff, even when it wasn't. This year, he challenges a little bit more, and he helps get the best plays in the game plan.
On first down, Altmyer looking downfield, decides to tuck and run and scampers out of bounds across the 35-yard line. Gain of 5 and second down.
He's not going to put up Jalen Daniels type numbers when he runs the football, but he is very dangerous when he escapes the pocket, in particular when you're in man-to-man defense, all kinds of space, and just making good decisions, making better decisions. And he talked about the process psychologically of just becoming more comfortable when he does make mistakes, so he's not scared to make mistakes, but he's just flat out making better decisions, and Barry Lunny says that's just part of his maturation.
Inside handoff, Fagan met behind the line. J.B. Brown and Caleb Taylor combine on the tackle.
Boy, great move off of that defensive line from Caleb Taylor, 6'4", 315 pounds, out of St. Louis. Got skinny, which isn't easy for a guy 6'4", 315 pounds, but did a nice job getting his shoulders turned, getting some penetration, and helping on that stop.
Skinny? I'm still reading the bio, and
that's a relative term,
yeah.
right? When you're talking about offensive and defensive linemen.
Taylor didn't play in week 1 with an undisclosed injury, but appears to be just fine now. Third and long, and it's Fagan surging ahead late, but he's going to come up shy of the line to make. Gain of 5. Brown, the senior, second year at Kansas, former Bowling Green Falcon, brought him down, and it looks like Illinois will keep the offense on the field.
And why not? You got a 250-pound running back, Caden Fagan, powerful offensive line.
And Brett Bielema was not afraid all last year to go for it in these situations. Second effort, close, and it's going to need a measurement.
I think that he ended up getting it.
DJ Warner met him at the point of attack, and it will depend on the spot.
Yeah, he's right at that 29-yard line.
First down.
Yep. And this is what can happen when you have a big running back like that. People go in a little bit lower. You want to do that to try and get the guy down without getting your teeth knocked out. But it does allow him to fall forward with that second effort, able to get that first down.
Illini quickly break their huddle. Altmyer fakes the pitch, zips one to the sideline. It's reeled in for a first down inside the 15. Tanner Arkin, the tight end transfer from Colorado State. Mello Dotson on the tackle, a first down for Illinois.
Well, it's not a touchdown catch for Tanner Arkin. One reception a year ago, 1 touchdown. 1 reception this year coming into the game, 1 touchdown. But very effective getting that first down, moving the ball further into the red zone. Arkin hasn't put up huge numbers, but he's been efficient.
11th play of the drive upcoming. Aiden Lawfrey gets the call here. Tripped up after a gain of 1. And Illinois controlling possession after getting the takeaway early in this game. Cornell Wheeler, one of the team leaders on defense, tied for the team high in tackles in week 1 with the stop.
We talked about it in the open. What was important for this Kansas team? Get that mouthpiece ready. Physical football. This is Illinois. This is Brett Bielema, though, too.
Yeah.
This is kind of his signature. We saw this when he was at Wisconsin. He took that to Arkansas, brought it here to Illinois. Build around that offensive line in the run game and have those body blows build up.
Fagan checks back in. Altmaier fakes it to him. Connects with Franklin along the sideline. And Zachary Franklin is close to the marker. Taking a hard shot at the end of the play, and his helmet looks like it got attached.
He got caught. I think it's his mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Attached.
Ian Grant got tangled up, literally.
Happens sometimes. That's we've seen a lot though from this Barry Lunney offense, the offensive coordinator there at Illinois. Pound, pound, pound in the middle, and then you get the ball onto the outside.
They're going to let him stay in the game here, even with the helmet issue there. You say that, but this Illinois team, they've had to recruit a little bit more to skilled positions because it's hard to ground and pound in the Big Ten when you're being out-recruited. But Illinois, they've found some guys to, where need be, can flash some skill.
Yeah, and you have to be able to create those explosive plays. You talk about the two elements most likely to produce wins. You want to get those explosive plays and eliminate the turnovers.
Altmaier rolls and nearly had a wide open touchdown. Lawfery dropped it.
Oh, how do you catch the ball? Not just with your hands, but with your eyes. And Lawfery's going to wish that he had that one back. Watch his head turn upfield just as the ball is coming in. You got to secure that thing. And boy, you get in situations like that, you're so excited about getting into the end zone, and so excited about turning around, making sure you don't get popped by a squat corner out there. Lawfery had one and lost it.
So it'll be David Olano. Could have been 7. He's now down to a 3-point attempt here. And this kick is good. But Illinois gets points out of the turnover. 3-0 to the Illini early on in Champaign.
He was in the league when I was in the league. We beat him in 2000, but he was on the bench when Drew Bledsoe was playing quarterback.
So what you're saying is that you're both.
What I'm saying is I'm 1-0 against Tom Brady, and he'll never get a chance to even the score.
There you go.
I never beat Michigan, so.
Okay. Well, they might have you beat on that front. 3-0 Illinois. So close to pay dirt after the takeaway, the only drop on that drive.
Here we have Jalen Daniels last year against Illinois. Just such an impressive play here. Watch him drop back into the pocket. No panic at all. Even though he's in his own end zone, he's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, I'm going to get away. But he's not going to run. He keeps his eyes downfield and makes a tremendous throw to Lawrence Arnold. I just love watching this guy play. He's just so calm and poised when he's in the pocket. Uses that athleticism, but he's got a cannon for an arm.
And you saw the turnovers from Kansas. Already 3 of them to begin this season. Good play on first down here to begin this series as Lawrence Arnold reels this in. Back-to-back seasons as the top receiver for KU.
Boy, that's an NFL type throw right there as well. Caleb Patterson really had good coverage on that one, and get a lot of man-to-man from this Aaron Henry Illinois defense. They play about 80% man-to-man, so it's not so much that guys are going to be running wide open. You just throw into favorable leverage like you do at the next level in the NFL.
Kansas coming off their best season in 16 years. Daniels with some time escapes and slides across for a first down. Took a late hit at the end there after giving himself up, but no flag on the play.
Looked like Ryan Mead was coming in there a little bit late, but I think he was already on his way to making the hit on Daniels. I think that was clean. But what I like from Jalen Daniels on that one is just you can see him surveying the field, kind of pumping his shoulders a couple of times, a couple throws that he was thinking about making, but said, hey, if I've got an opportunity to get some yards here, just do it on the ground.
So our first down for the Jayhawks. Hand off to Daniel Hishaw. Rounds the corner after escaping the initial grasp of Seth Coleman. Hishaw and Devin Neal comprise one of the nation's top running back duos, and Hishaw getting the turn here.
Yeah, what I really love, though, watch number 9, Seth Coleman. He misses the tackle here initially, but he does not give up on it. You see, making the pursuit all the way to finally make that stop. But yeah, it's an impressive running back duo. These guys have got some talent, and talk about just different skill sets, but dangerous.
Jared Casey, a tight end, sets up as a blocking fullback, and what a gap he created for Hishaw. Another first down for the Jayhawks, a gain of 11.
Yeah, Dylan Roschek at that linebacker spot, and you're going to see Jared Casey lead up, almost like an old school ISO. Love that stuff, getting the eye back and lead up, follow that fullback. He just got a little bit of hand fighting that time, though, but that's okay. He got in the way. He's wide, man. He packs a bunch and just tough to get around because of how wide he is, Jared Casey.
Trip receivers to the wide side. Play action on first down. Daniels looking to the sideline. It's behind Skinner. Covered by Caleb Patterson. As we have 47 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Yeah, you can see Skinner, quick look to the outside, but Jalen Daniels just never gave him a chance on this one. He threw that ball a couple yards out of bounds, almost to the other side of the white. Quentin Skinner, he's 6'5". Needed to be about 7'5" to have a shot at that one.
Only had one touch in week 1. Second down here. Daniels fakes the handoff. Late option pitch. And they're going to get a first down and a whole lot more.
Savion,
Go ahead, Robert.
Savion Morrison, the redshirt junior. And you're right, partner. It was that late option pitch. You go with the speed option here. And again, smart play by Jalen Daniels. He sees defenders are converging on me. Go ahead and pitch it to Savion Morrison. Give him an opportunity to finish the play with a first down.
Final seconds of the quarter. Looks like they're going to let it wind down here. Flag. Did they flinch?
It looked like Quentin Skinner might have flinched.
Oh, boy. That's a huge no-no. First flag today. And for Kansas, at the end of the quarter, they're going to get bit by a false start.
The clock went to 0 prior to the movement. That's the end of the first quarter.
Or they'll get bailed out by the clock first. Nearly an unforced error on this drive. They already have one. It's led to points for Illinois. 3-0 lead for the Fighting Illini. Illinois. Kansas driving. KU 9-4 last season, winningest season since that magical 12-1 campaign in 2007. Jalen Daniels, of course, being back is a huge thing for the Jayhawks to have him at their disposal. Missed most of last season with a back injury, and in all the last 2 years, 14 games on the sideline. Staying healthy has been a problem for Jalen Daniels in his career.
That's the balance that you always have as an offensive coordinator where you have a talent like him. How many hits do you want him expose him to with his injury history?
Daniels dropping back, takes a shot.
Got a flag in the backfield.
Pass incomplete, but a flag likely on the hits.
Looks like he's going to be on Dennis Briggs.
Drop to the passer. Defense number 6. 15-yard penalty and automatic. First down.
It's the veteran. 6 seasons at Florida State, including 2 redshirt years. Transfers here to Illinois for his final year.
And you know those defensive linemen, once they get to the quarterback, they like to make sure that the quarterback knows that they were there. So they'll take a chance with some of those late hits, but you got to be smart, man. This Kansas team so dangerous. We talk about what Jalen Daniels is capable of. You don't want to give them more opportunities inside the red zone.
First penalty of the game is a costly one. Up the middle, Wildcat snap, Neal. And he picks up about 4. Matthew Bailey was there for the stop for Illinois.
Yeah, and Aaron Henry, defensive coordinator, you know, he talked about having Matthew Bailey back. He said just tremendous addition for this defense. And you see Matthew Bailey lined up that nickel position like a linebacker so many times, like a coach on the field, very physical as he was right there tackling Neal.
On second down, Daniels scans, fires, caught. Touchdown, Jayhawks, Luke Grimm. Flag on the play.
Well, sometimes you get offensive interference. That's
Yep.
what it looks like it's going to be. You see somebody open like that, it's either a coverage mix-up or it's the difference between an offensive player saying it's a pick.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 47. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the pick versus the rub philosophy right there. It looks like this one's going to be on Jared Casey. You see him lined up in the slot right here. I mean, you got to sell a little bit better than that, man. That's a terrible acting job. You got to at least look like you're trying to run a route. Runs right into Xavier Scott. They try to go with the quote-unquote pick play there, and they pay for it. Backs them all the way up.
Both teams should have had a touchdown. This penalty backing up KU big time. Daniels gets most of the penalty yardage back and brings the Jayhawks to the Illini 18, but a 3rd and long here for KU.
We talked about this earlier. Defensive line for Illinois, you have got to be disciplined. When you get to the depth of a quarterback like Jalen Daniels, you can't go any deeper. With his mobility and your tendency, as they are doing right now, playing man-to-man with those defenders with their back turned, you have to be disciplined in your rush lanes.
Illinois 4-man rush. Little screen to Grimm. But it's going to set up a field goal try here. So Daniels, after that costly penalty, unable to get KU with an opportunity to get a touchdown. And now here's Tabor Allen, who has not attempted a field goal yet in his short collegiate career. He's been on this team for a while. Finally earned a chance to become the #1 kicker. And this kick is up and good. A clean start after he patiently waited 3 years for his opportunity. And we got a tie game. Ball is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay. 100 years young, this building. 1951, the last national championship for Illinois football. But boy, there's a lot of enthusiasm here. A lot of enthusiasm on the Kansas sideline. Jalen Daniels trying to fire his group up.
Yeah, and you know, Jalen Daniels not really known for being that type of guy. Look, he's got high energy, but you know what? The players respect him, and when they hear him getting animated like that, it means something a little bit different.
Both teams running the ball effectively. Only 3 total possessions in this game. First one ended with an interception. The last 2 ended with field goals, but perhaps should have been touchdowns. This will be a touchback as the Illinois offense will come back on the field. And Luke Altmaier has passed it 5 times so far, 4 completions. Just 36 yards through the air, 62 total.
I'm talking about Brett Bielema, kind of how his coaching philosophy is developed, and talk about, well, what's the difference with you? You know, it's like not everybody understands just the level of detail that you have to have. You know, football 101, it's down to the fundamentals, and those little things have turned 3 points into 7, but for both teams, so it's a wash.
Hand off Lawford as he bounces off an initial tackle, trying to get away from the grasp of Cornell Wheeler, who had the initial hand on him. Bielema was also talking to us about his coaching mentors. Obviously, he's connected to Bill Belichick, but the first 3 coaches he worked under, Kirk Ferentz, Hayden Fry, Barry Alvarez, and he said he learned a ton from those 3 Hall of Famers.
Some legends right there.
Second down and 5. Altmaier to pass. Looks to the near sideline and hits Zachary Franklin. He will have the first down.
See Barry Lunny, the offensive coordinator, shifting all of the eligibles except for Zachary Franklin over to the right side of the formation, forcing that man-to-man matchup on the backside. Now, talked about these corners. Kobe Bryant was matched up that time, but no opportunity for safety help.
Altmaier hasn't taken a deep shot yet. He was looking down that way. Escapes the initial tackle. What a job to get away from DJ Warner and make it a positive play in the end.
And he was looking at Zachary Franklin on the left side of that formation. He was trying to hit into that cover 2 zone behind the corner and in front of the safety. But you know, that's you got experienced guys, Mello Dotson, Kobe Bryant on the back end. You know, their DB coach, DK McDonald, was with the Eagles. A lot of experience. He sank and kept that throw from happening.
Keep it on the ground once again. This is a nice pickup to set up a 3rd and short. To the 43-yard line, Wheeler with the tackle on Lawfery. This Illinois team that lost 4 of their top 5 receivers, including their top 2, Isaiah Williams and Casey Washington.
But look at this, 4 defensive linemen coming into the game, wholesale change. You want to go with a little bit of beef package on this one. And Caden Fagan came in for Illinois. Beef on beef.
Well, I was going to say, even though they lost those receivers, they brought back so much at running back. Ground and pound, but Altmaier to pass on the slant. Franklin lost the football, and it's KU ball. Marvin Grant and Jeremy Robinson combined for the takeaway, and now each team has a turnover tonight.
Brian Borland said they wanted to focus on creating more turnovers, and this is how it happens. See extra bodies getting to the ball. Tell if that was Cornell Wheeler. Knocked that ball out. But the Jayhawks are going to have it when we get back. Turnover in Illinois territory.
Able to move the chains, but they're killing themselves with mistakes early in this game. Still just 3-3 and a turnover here from the Illini.
Well, a nice job by Cornell Wheeler coming and getting his helmet on the elbow of Zachary Franklin. But as you go into a spin, you have got to get that second arm on the ball. When you're in traffic like that, get a second hand on the ball anyway, especially when you're going into a spin, because when you come out of the spin, you're not sure what's going to be there. So you want to have that second arm in place. And that is the reason why ball can get knocked out.
So it's KU ball at the Illinois 40. Jalen Daniels back to work. Kansas has mostly kept it on the ground. He's going to take a shot into coverage, and it's incomplete. Skinner, the intended target. Torrey Cox Jr. in coverage.
Torrey Cox Jr. had the interception a week ago. He's got a nice little grill. Hopefully we can get a close-up on that. You can see Quentin Skinner coming out of the slot right here. A little bit of hand fighting right there. Maybe with the placement, you want to go back shoulder there, reading the positioning of Cox in coverage. You want to go with the back shoulder. When he's high on the receiver like that, you don't want to try and get that ball up over the top.
Neal searching for running room. Got by the initial wave. He is elusive, isn't he?
You know, when Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, talked about it, man, he said, I don't know if I've ever seen a running back built like Devin Neal, move laterally the way he does, but a big third down opportunity here for the Jayhawks.
After the takeaway, can they take advantage? Neal again in the backfield. And they'll check for the sign, still with plenty of time on the play clock. A lot of motion here with Grimm setting up in the slot. Daniels, design run. cuts it back. Daniels about 2 yards shy of the first down after a gain of 4. Brought down by T-Rod Edwards, 5th-year senior. And KU, it looks like, will keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, you make that call because you know that you're going to be going for it on 4th down. A good opportunity to get some yards because you expect that defense, especially when you motion out to empty like that, to have everybody spread out. Good opportunity to pick up some yards. They probably picked up a lot more than they thought they would.
Kansas 3 for 3 on 4th down last week. Play action, pass caught. Second effort may have gotten the first. Caleb Patterson along the sideline celebrating. It depends on the spot.
I think that he stepped out of bounds as he was trying to fight to get that extra yardage. Well, we'll see where they spot it.
That second effort got the nose of the football to the 30-yard line. That was the line to make, and they got it.
We talked about Luke Grimm. They said he's 7'11", always open. He was open that time, but Caleb Patterson fighting. Watch that that left foot go out of bounds right there. He looks like he's well short of the first
KU
down.
trying to line up quickly here to prevent a review, but the replay booth here all over it.
The ruling on the field is that the line to gain was made.
And that will be short. So much more efficient than it used to be with these replay booths now. They have so many different looks right away.
Yeah, they got like the official Big Ten centers making some of those calls.
I like that the NCAA has allowed conferences to use centralized review and let them help the guys on the field too. Here's one more look.
Nice job with the effort, but that left foot, it's going to go out of bounds, and that official's all over the play right here, but he's really watching that ball and doesn't see that foot go out of bounds. It's out of bounds right there. It's a good yard short. And plus the ball came out.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a bad spot really in a couple of different ways. Not saying that he stepped out of bounds, not saying that the ball came out of bounds, or excuse me, came out of Luke Grimm's hands.
Just showed it up here on the big board at Memorial Stadium, and that's what the reaction was from the
approval from the orange out here.
Tell you what, this Illinois defense, it was maligned a year ago. 5-7, 3-6 in conference play.
A lot of one-score games, and you know what, from the defense that they had the year before, and all the guys, especially on that back end, you had 3 guys drafted out of that secondary. It was a heck of a defense that they had, but like what they've done, bringing players in, and Aaron Henry, man, he's all that as a coordinator, man. He's got a lot of energy.
And they've done good work retaining guys on defense as well. This is a program that a couple of years ago was under the radar, one of the better ones in the Big Ten. Last year, though, allowed 24-plus points 9 times.
After review, the runner stepped out of bounds, short of the line to gain. Will be Illinois' ball, first down, 30 and 1/2 yard line.
Tell you what, Illinois' defense has come to play today. Kansas turns it over on downs, and it's a Illini ball. Well, this is a little bit of Jurgen-like kind of football. 3 yards, cloud of dust. A yard here or there making the difference in a 3-3 game.
And the crisp weather of fall on its way.
Kansas has had all 3 of their drives end in Illinois territory, and they have a grand total of 3 points. They turn it over on downs, Illini ball here, and Luke Altmaier. And the Illinois offense back to work. This pass deflected in the backfield. That's a live ball, and it's picked up by Aiden Lawfery. Good heads-up play. Marvin Grant got the deflection. They're going to say this is incomplete on second look. And you got to play until you hear a whistle.
Yeah, nice job reacting from Marvin Grant. And defensive coordinator Brian Borland said he's the hardest hitter out there, but just a smart play. Kind of judging by formation and the motion that you get, understanding what concept you can expect, right? And then you react to that get those hands up at the right time, almost come up with an interception.
Allmeyer completes underneath. It's Pat Bryant, senior wide receiver. Actually led or was top 5 in the Big Ten during the regular season last year with 7 receiving touchdowns.
I mean, they've got a receiving core, man. With Zachary Franklin, Malik Elzy. Elzy's got that size, too.
One thing that hurts, Cole Rusk was expected to be a big piece for this team, out for the season with a knee injury. Mackey Award watch list candidate coming in. So their depth at tight end is not what they were hoping. On third down, Altmyer swings it to the outside. McCray's first touch of the night. That's Josh McCray, fourth-year junior. Mello Dotson with a tackle. And this will be a 3-and-out for Illinois.
Yeah, we talk about Mello Dotson and Kobe Bryant, the dynamic duo at the quarterback spot, and how good those guys are at covering. They want to show they can be physical as well, and you can see right there, Mello Dotson coming up from that corner spot, breaking down well, making the stop. You don't always see that from corners, right? Like that's the offensive coordinators say it all the time. We want to force the little guys to tackle and the big guys to run. Those cornerbacks don't always make stops like that.
This KU defense is fairly versatile. First appearance for Hugh Robertson, punter for Illinois. First punt either way tonight. And here's Trevor Wilson escaping an initial tackle. And he's banged down at the 18-yard line. Brought down physically by James Kreutz in the end. 45-yard punt. Memorial Stadium, you see these sprayed on logos on the field. Actually, probably painted on by hand. 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium. They broke ground for this place in 1922. Still using horses, of course, for a lot of the work. Completed in 1923, expanded in 1930. Been playing football here at the University of Illinois for 135 years. And they're celebrating the 100th anniversary of the stadium. Inaugurated by the legendary Red Grange, who scored 4 touchdowns in the first 12 minutes of the game to take down Michigan in the inaugural game.
I love every bit of that statement.
Wow! There goes Devin Neal, and he's brought down across the 40-yard line. What a burst! We've been waiting for that all night for Devin Neal, and he finally broke off a big run of 26.
Watch the left tackle, 77, Bryce Cable do come and just clear the path with the trap. That's a big man opening up the hole.
KU moving quickly. Luke Grimm along the sideline. But he stepped out just after receiving the ball, trying to round the corner, only a gain of 4.
And they go with the tempo. You get that bunch set and try and get that ball to Grimm along the sideline. He just stepped out of bounds. It's 2 plays in a row now where Grimm's had plays called back. Thought he could gain more yardage. But you could see Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, wanted to go with a little bit of tempo, just trying to change things up. Moving the ball hasn't necessarily been a problem, but they've got to get into Illinois territory and convert that to a touchdown.
Not had much of an opportunity to run any tempo here. Daniels looking to the sideline, has his man, and another first down for Kansas. It's Arnold, tackled by Caleb Patterson, a gain of 18.
And you can see Arnold, look at him, press, make you think you're going to go deep. Coverage.
Quick snap again here. They're running that tempo. It's Grimm who surges ahead for a gain of 3. Patterson again on the stop.
And again, we talk about kind of reading the room, right? Understanding the situation of the game. Jeff Grimes, you know, offensive line background. Of course, he had been with Gus Malzahn all the way back, Auburn days, most recently at Baylor, understands the flow of games and the art of play calling. Here, it's switching to tempo to try and get that Illinois defense tired and out of place.
Pitch play, stutter step, Neal. First down and more, but a flag in the defensive backfield. And we'll see what this is about. Alec Bryant finally making the stop as Neal gets inside the Illinois 10.
Illegal substitution. Defense 12 men on the field. Penalties decline. Result the play. First down.
Yeah, we see the old dead leg. We know about the lateral movement. Watch this. Even before Halloween, get that little, and you see the rubber from the field kick up. of that, and really some poor tackling right there as well. And that's something Aaron Henry's not going to be very happy about on the sideline, defensive coordinator from Illinois. We know how intense he is. You get there, you have got to try and make that play. They did not wrap at all.
First and goal from the 6. Daniels to keep it. Daniels tripped up. Could have been a touchdown. Xavier Scott prevented the score.
Yeah, and how many times have we said Xavier Scott's name today? Almost had a couple picks. Did have one of the interceptions. Seen him making some plays in the KU backfield. Another big one right there. And really did exactly what you're supposed to do with a guy that can move like Jalen Daniels. Go inside out. Nice job, not missing, taking out those legs.
4th tackle tonight, late substitution for Illinois. And they'll spread him out here for KU. Empty set, 2nd and goal. As Hishaw moves to the quarterback's hip pocket. Daniels to pass, floats it, back of the end zone, touchdown KU. It's Luke Grimm. And the Jayhawks have the lead.
Watch the concentration from Luke Grimm on this one. He gets open, and it's our man Xavier Scott. Maybe a little bit tired, all the running around he's had to do. But watch Luke Grimm release to the corner here, and that ball's going to be on his inside shoulder when he turns around. So he's got to contort his torso to be able to make that catch with the body control and field awareness to get the feet in. Pumping him up, man.
Another impressive drive. All 4 Kansas drives have wound up in Illinois territory, but this time they finally hit pay dirt. 7 plays, 81 yards. And Luke Grimm to cap it off, who now has the 7th most receiving yards in school history, his 2nd touchdown of the season. Top 3 all time in touchdown receptions in program history. Tabor Allen on for the extra point. It's 10-3 Kansas on the road here in Illinois. The Illini defense bending and perhaps finally breaking. And the Jayhawks have a 10-3 lead here in Champaign. All right, Mike, we'll check in with you in a bit.
Mike, that's the thrill, man. You don't know the thrill? Dropping knowledge and nuggets at halftime?
About that last drive, 7 plays, 81 yards, KU controlling the football and finally getting a result.
Yeah, and they changed it up. Went with the tempo there, made the difference.
Another touchback here from Tabor Allen. And so the Illini, who also to a certain degree were able to move the ball to begin this game, but their last drive was a 3-and-out. And does this offense have another gear to it? We haven't seen it just yet.
No, we haven't, and you wonder if they're going to try and make that same change, right? Barry Lunny, the offensive coordinator, he said, you know, we used to be a no-huddle team before, you went to that helmet communication. So they've slowed down a little bit. Maybe you speed it up.
And off on 1st down.
Or maybe you do the same thing that you always
you know
do
what?
and just pound, right? Like, that's why we're up here, though. They know their teams better than we do, and they have an idea of kind of how they want this thing to go. Run straight up the middle, sometimes just imposing your will, say we're going to run, get you to pack the box, and then throw it over the top.
And Fagan could not get away. Marvin Grant there for the tackle. And quickly it's 3rd down.
And Dylan Woodkey also running that thing down. And, that's a situation right there where they're keying run, immediately getting that penetration, just absolutely no chance. Got to try and come up with something here on 3rd down.
3rd and 5. Could be a free play. Flag not thrown to the sideline. Franklin, a one-handed catch! Are you kidding me? He made it look easy. And it's a 1st down for Illinois into Kansas territory.
With the coverage all over him, Demarius McGee in the coverage on Zachary Franklin, just puts it in. Whoop!
through the
just
hole.
like Spider-Man the whole time. It's like, hey, this is nothing, man. Ain't nothing. I got this thing. Like, it just stuck to his hand. As natural as could be. Like, what else would you expect? Of course I was going to do that.
First big play of the night for Illinois. 42 yards and a flag here
And then he
on a
gets
false start.
And then he gets a penalty.
Right.
False start. Offense number 4. 5-yard penalty. Just now.
He was still probably buzzing from the last play.
It's like, all right, now they got Kobe Bryant on me. Man, I'm about to show out 2 plays in a row. This is about to be a touchdown right here.
Tell you what, it'd be a nice comeback story for Zachary Franklin. Seldom used by Ole Miss. Injuries played a factor. Red-shirted, looking for a fresh start. He's got one here tonight. And Illinois, all of a sudden, is driving as we hit the 2-minute timeout. More look. This catch by Zachary Franklin.
Catch so nice, we had to watch it twice. He's like, Demarius, you go ahead. Take that other hand. I don't need that one. All I need is one, player. I'm surprised they didn't call a hold there. It's like just giving him a little stiff arm. He's holding that thing. All right, go ahead. I got it anyway.
So after the false start, it's first down and 15 for the Kansas 33. High formation. Hand off, Fagan. Ooh, cuts it back, but Kansas reads it well. And it's a short gain on first down. Just a gain of 1. Jason Gilliam stepping up from that hybrid hawk position to make the tackle.
Yeah, and you know, Caden Fagan, he talked about this year, he wanted to get a little bit lighter on his feet and talked about changing his diet. So he's eating a lot of chicken and broccoli, a lot of chicken and broccoli at 250 pounds. But he's got to turn those things upfield a little bit sooner sometimes. You know, he's got that speed, run more than 21 miles an hour, but he should have turned that one up sooner.
Illinois in no hurry here. Clock inside a minute and a half remaining in the second quarter. Altmaier looked like he was outside the pocket as he made this throw.
But doesn't get past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's the question. And that's the discussion. And if there's a flag here, I mean, it could turn, you know, that explosive 42-yard play and a promising drive here. They're going to withhold any sort of penalty.
And we can see right there.
The pass is legal. The quarterback was outside the pocket. And the ball reached the line of scrimmage.
Well
Third
passed.
down.
It's a good call all around. Third down at 14, however, as Kansas brought the heat. If there was a penalty, that would have certainly knocked them out of field goal range. As it stands, they're on the fringes now. On third down, Altmaier dropped the snap. Got it back, looking downfield, takes a hard hit. After he releases, the pass incomplete, and Altmaier knocked off his feet by J.B. Brown.
And we talk about it with wide receivers all the time. Watch Luke Altmaier's head here. He never gets his eyes cleanly down on the ball. Look at that. He lifts his head up like he's looking for the coverage a little bit soon. You cannot take that type of snap for granted. You have to watch that thing all the way in, because sometimes they're going to have a little bit more loft. They're going to be coming back a little bit slower. You can't just assume it's going to get back to you cleanly.
So David Alano hit from 23 earlier tonight. Hit from 26 in week 1. This from 50.
Got the distance.
Yes, sir. And Alano, the sophomore, who spent last year handling kickoff duties, takes on an elevated role this year on all place kicks. Drills it from 50 yards. And Illinois is within 4. Keep in mind the Illini will get the ball to start the second half.
Alano's from Naperville, Illinois. I hear it's a nice place. Look at that. Oh, fire. Look at him. Yeah. Kickers get pumped up too, right? Looks a little bit different. But they love it.
Now getting dapped up from everybody on the Illinois sideline. So 1:05 to go. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. We saw Kansas run tempo their last drive. And we'll see if they do that again with all those timeouts at their disposal.
I think they're going to try and do something. And, I love what Lance Leipold said. So, we have different expectations now. This program has different expectations. And it's such a great story because it's been so long since Kansas has been relevant in football. But to see the packed houses that they get there, that playing at the soccer stadium and whatever the name is that they have for Arrowhead when they have the games there, it's just so cool to see.
You're not getting paid by them, so you don't have to say it.
That's right.
From the 7. Here's Trevor Wilson. Nice return out across the 35-yard line. And Kansas with a short field, 58 seconds and all 3 timeouts. Tonight on Fox, more college football coming your way. Late night, we head out west. Texas Tech visits Washington State. Taj Brooks and the Red Raiders against Wazoo. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on Fox.
Petros doing that one?
I'll have to double check.
Okay, Petros is doing it. I'm watching it. I'm watching whenever he's calling.
I think it's Tim Brando and Devin Gardner.
I'm watching them too.
All right, 10-6 Kansas. Under a minute to go in the half. Oh, this could have been a reverse, but it goes awry. Skinner picks up the loose ball and is pile driven down to the 30-yard line. Maybe a little bit shy of that even on a play that goes awry.
Well, and you're going to see him come in motion here, and they pitch it to him. Last week they handed it to him on a jet sweep, and he fumbled the ball on his only touch. So, that's one we hear the receivers all the time, get me the ball. That's one where the offensive coordinator says, hey, man, you keep doing that. You keep dropping it when we give it to you, you're not going to be getting it much more.
And what that does is give Illinois an opportunity to burn a timeout, stop the clock with 48 seconds left in the half. See Jeff Grimes talking things over with Daniel Heishaw on the KU sideline. Grimes taking over for Andy Kotelnicki, who moved on to become the offensive coordinator at Penn State this offseason.
And you can see him working that play sheet. He's, he really came in and learned their offensive terminology. He said, with these guys, their experience, all the people they have back, rather than me trying to impose my verbiage on these guys, I'm just going to learn their verbiage. And of course, Jim Zembrowski, as he calls him, Z, his eyes in the sky, works well coordinating with him. And he's really just kind of learning what all these guys are capable of in live situations. Great opportunity here on the road.
On second down, swing it to the outside. It's the tight end, Jared Casey, who scampers out of bounds to stop the clock with 42 seconds. Xavier Scott picks up another tackle.
Xavier Scott, how many times have we called his name today? I know he got beat on the touchdown to Luke Grimm, but man, he's just been all over the place.
Illinois with a chance to get the ball back here.
And you know what the call is right now, right? Your defense, watch the draw, watch the screen. 3rd and 13.
4-man rush. Pass is picked off. Xavier Scott, have yourself a night. Touchdown, Illinois. Five tackles, 2 interceptions, and now a touchdown to give Illinois the lead.
It does not get any better than this if you're playing in the defensive secondary. Believe what you see is what your defensive coaches will tell you, and understand the situation, right? Watch a draw, watch the screen, watch those short throws where they're going to just try and get something out quick. Xavier Scott sees it all the way, makes the catch all the way back for 6. Impressive.
He led the Big Ten in pass breakups, tied for the lead last year in passes defended. And he is putting on a one-man show defensively for the Illini tonight. 13-10 Illinois.
Boy, he's like Miles Scott at that other safety spot. The converted wide receiver had a pick 6 last year in his first game at safety. Look how cleanly he catches that ball. Miles Scott, the green dot, the leader of that secondary, given some lessons. But man, just every style of play that you need out of a defender, right? You want a guy that reads things. You want a guy that reacts. You want a guy that tackles. You want a guy that covers well. And then you want that guy that can convert opportunities like that, not just into turnovers, but to points. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. So excited to just see that type of play. And what I love, like quarterbacks, players in the secondary, you got to have a short memory, man. He got beat on the touchdown to Luke Grimm. Forget about that. What's the most important play? Always. The next one comes back, makes a huge play.
Illinois forced 4 turnovers in week 1 against Eastern Illinois. Big step up in competition this week, but they already have 2 tonight. So Trevor Wilson will give it another go. And Wilson across the 25, still on his feet, across the 30, finally wrapped up and brought down at the 32-yard line. And James Kreutz will make the special teams tackle. So with 27 seconds, KU still with all 3 timeouts. But that was a disastrous sequence. First, going out of bounds, stopping the clock, letting Illinois preserve a timeout should they get the ball back. Second, the turnover, the pick 6. KU, after scoring the touchdown, looks a little bit off here.
Yeah, well, I think right here is like, don't make a bad situation worse, right? You got 27 seconds. Probably not going to do a whole lot. Go conservative.
That's what they do with Highshaw. And they'll let the clock tick down. So Illinois will get the ball to start the second half. But what a sudden turn of events to end the first half.
This game is as advertised, isn't it, my man? Doesn't get any better than this.
And
Big 10 football, Big 12 football in the fall, cooling down.
They are fired up in front of this sellout crowd here at Memorial Stadium. What an environment, and the Illini have the lead as we send you to Los Angeles for the State Farm halftime show. Here's Mike Hill.
I need the strength to be alone. That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling right now. That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling right now. Yeah.
A bit of a slow start, but this game picked a jolt of excitement near the end of the first half. We take a look at the stats. Kansas content to run the ball for most of it. We talked about how good their running back duo is, but Illinois, their defense came to play tonight, and they have the lead as a direct result, Robert.
Boy, Xavier Scott, what a player, man. And talking to Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator, he said, I love basketball players. We've got an all-county high school basketball player in Xavier Scott. Here you can see with the tight coverage and all those pass breakups. Remember, last year he led the Big Ten with 11 pass breakups, but only 2 interceptions. And I say only 2 because you ideally want that ratio to be 3 or 4 to 1 or better. But you can see with that quick reaction on that bubble screen in that first half, he converted one of those pass breakups into an interception early in the season this year. You can also say if somebody has a ratio that's higher, they're probably going to be catching up, so you're going to see them with a string of interceptions, certainly with a guy that studies the game and plays as hard as Xavier Scott.
So it's Illinois ball to begin the second half. Line drive kickoff, and Denari Wilcher will let this fall into the end zone for a touchback. So even though the Illini only have 132 total yards of offense, remember they had a couple of early drives that were successful but sputtered. They had that drop ball just shy of the end zone that could have given them a touchdown early in the game. It's a 3-point lead for Illinois as Luke Altmaier jogs out to helm the offense here to begin the second half.
Well, I'm interested to see what they do, and I think Kansas up front has won the battle today.
Aiden Fagan gets the handoff. A nice edge set by the Illinois offensive line. Mello Dotson brings down Fagan after a gain of 7.
That interior of that defensive line from Kansas really been holding Illinois to a low yards per carry.
Fagan again. This time he's met. No gain. Cornell Wheeler right there. And it's third down. It'll be third down and 3 here for Illinois. 4 for 10 on third down last week. 2 for 7 so far tonight. Again, it's Fagan. And he's unable to get much. Got a yard. That's it. And the Kansas defense comes out of the gate in the second half, forcing a 3-and-out.
Fighting the double teams along that defensive line. Tommy Dunn, you see him fighting that double team. And, you know, the key there, you want to take on one guy, right? You go after the one guy, and it's harder for them to move you out of there. You can see him celebrating after that one. And really, it comes down to fundamentals. We talk about scheme all the time, but how are you going to win your battle? That's exactly what Tommy Dunn did there to stop that third down attempt.
End over end punt that takes an Illinois bounce. Fielded at the 16-yard line by Trevor Wilson. 51-yard punt and only 3 on the return for KU. Take a look at the quarterback comparison here tonight. Jalen Daniels only 53 yards through the air. We knew that Kansas had the capability with their running backs. We haven't seen Daniels in this offense take too many chances, and when they have, they've been burned.
Yeah, they have been burned, and you know, quite frankly, it's been some poor throws, poor decisions by Jalen Daniels as well. We saw another pass that probably should have been intercepted. His timing just seems to be a little bit off, and you don't never want to make excuses for guys, but he's clearly getting into the rhythm that they couldn't get against the Lindemann with their first FBS game a week ago.
Option run. And Daniels with a gain of 2, maybe 3 in the end. Tackled by James Kreutz at the end of the play.
We talked earlier about the philosophy of an offensive coordinator like Jeff Grimes. And you have a guy like Jalen Daniels with that injury history. You don't want to expose him to too many of those designed QB runs, but they used it right there for just a couple yards.
Play fake. Here's Arnold as he escapes the initial tackle. And Arnold will set up a third down and short. Gabe Akis, former freshman All-American, making the tackle. And now the shoe on the other foot. KU 2 for 6 on third down tonight. Illinois had trouble getting their defense off the field last year. Just 44%. Third down. Near the bottom of the Big Ten.
See Brett Bielema all fired up on the sideline. He sees something he doesn't like.
Hand off and a first down for KU. There's that run game again with Devin Neal.
Well, nothing fancy, right?
Yep.
I mean, this is Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator. He talked about Devin Neal, and we talked about his explosive lateral movement, which is rare for a guy his size. But he said, you know what? Sometimes I just wish he ran a little bit more like Daniel Highshaw, because Highshaw is that guy who just put his head down. And right there, he had to be his own blocker. A lot of free defenders on that play, but he was able to lower those shoulders and get the first down.
Robert, they're getting 7.1 yards per carry tonight, Kansas. 135 yards on the ground. Daniels to the air this time. Has his man at midfield. Quentin Skinner rounding the corner and wrapped up by Caleb Patterson. But a big pass play for KU. They're into Illinois territory.
And what I love here, you see Quentin Skinner lined up on the outside. That ball's already in the air when he turns around. Now we know that he put the ball on the ground earlier, did the same thing a week ago. But both by quarterback and receiver. I love Jalen Daniels with the anticipation, getting that ball out, trusting his wide receiver, Quentin Skinner, on the other end of it to make the grab.
21 yards for Skinner, longest pass play of the night for the Jayhawks. Neal in motion, Daniels to pass, and that throw way off target. Skinner was the intended target. May have been tied up by Dylan Rosiek. junior from East Lake
he was trying to throw into the window before Skinner got there, and Skinner, he just kind of loses his footing here. You see those long legs, man. Those things got caught up. It looked like Rosechek was backing up just a little bit and caught his heel, and then one of Quentin Skinner's legs ran into the other one, and that's all she wrote.
On second down, keep it on the ground, and Illinois sees it the whole way. Neal stopped in the backfield by T-Raw Edwards, and it sets up a 3rd and long.
You got an opportunity here, and with as much man-to-man defense as they play, you're expecting some sort of pressure here. Bring extra bodies to the party. Try and get Jalen Daniels force him into making a bad decision, possibly even knocking the ball out with a fumble.
Illinois making a substitution on defense. Their physical linebacker, James Kreutz, is on for this 3rd down, 4-man rush. Daniels delivers on target to Skinner to save the drive, close to a 1st down, and they will move the chains. Xavier Scott was nearby, but Skinner was able to get the first.
Well, Illinois makes a decision to play coverage instead. They only bring 4 rushers there, and everybody drops back, and it's our man, Xavier Scott, playing with a big cushion that time, and he's been all over the field today, not making any excuses for the man. Probably a little bit tired, but a nice throw and catch there for a long conversion on 3rd down.
2 interceptions, including a pick 6 that's given Illinois the lead. 3 receivers to the wide side. Daniels on 1st down. Neal the handoff, looking around the corner, stumbled, and is brought down by Miles Scott. Free safety coming off a terrific game in week 1. A pick, a forced fumble, and a TFL. Comes up with the tackle here. 2nd down.
Boy, and Aaron Henry, he just could not say enough good things about Miles Scott. We'll get back to that.
On 2nd down, Daniels scrambling, gets away, flag on the play. Daniels still motoring, gets a block downfield, and is tackled inside the 10. But this could be an offensive hold against KU. 26 yards on the run for Daniels if it stands.
Yeah, as we see so many times, when a quarterback escapes the pocket, it's that little grab and hanging on.
Offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It's Bryce Cabledew, one of the most experienced starters on Kansas's offensive line.
Yeah, and you're not exactly sure where that quarterback is. I mean, you're blocking, well, there, he just kind of got that arm up and around. That looked like kind of just a hook around the neck on that one. That's just poor technique. So you got to move your feet instead of reaching your arms out and trying to get that hook into place. Easy to say up here in the booth what you're supposed to do from a technique standpoint. A little bit harder when you're 320 plus pounds, and you got to do that as the 4th quarter approaches.
Instead of 1st and goal, they're back at the 44. Daniels.
All kinds of time.
Yeah, he did have time, didn't he? As he connects with Highshaw. Ryan Mead on the tackle, but it's a 3rd and long after all that penalty yardage.
We've seen them play soft in coverage a number of times now in these 3rd down situations. See T-Raw Edwards, number 23, coming onto the field. See if they dial up a little pressure here. They're certainly not showing it.
10 on the play clock. Could be a wildcat here. Highshaw in the backfield. Play clock down to 2, and it is Highshaw surging up the middle for the 1st down. Gain of 7.
Boy, sometimes they look exactly the way you draw them up on the board, with all the X's and O's blocking in certain places, and that's credit to this Jayhawk offensive line.
Highshaw again. Slipped the tackle from James Kreutz to pick up a couple extra yards. Tackled at the 21 by Ryan Mead. A gain of 5, and it's 2nd down. An injury for Illinois. And it's Alex Bray, sophomore defensive end. So as he's helped to his feet, we'll step aside with the Jayhawks driving. College football is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay. All quiet outside. Fun tailgate this afternoon. And a beautiful night for college football here in Champaign. Number 19 Kansas on the road, and they are driving 6+ minutes on this drive, their first of the second half.
Boy, and what an environment, man. First time in Champaign for both of us. And we got the orange out tonight. It's probably going to be in the high 50s here soon, if it isn't already. But a big opportunity here for the Illini. Got to try and force a stop.
Second down and 5. Handoff, and Neal. He's just so hard to bring down. It's another first down for KU as he's tackled at the 15-yard line. Devin Neal, top 5 on Kansas's all-time rushing yardage list. He passed a couple Jayhawk greats and Pro Football Hall of Famers last year, John Riggins and Gale Sayers.
I want you to watch the move that Devin Neal puts on Ryan Mead, number 34 on this one. Watch this right here. No, sir. I mean, just that type of movement in the telephone booth, right?
Yep.
Old school, baby. It doesn't take a lot, doesn't take a huge amount of lateral movement. Just that little quick shift. So dangerous.
KU controlling clock. 13th play of the drive. Neal shifty again for another couple of yards. Alex Bray, who was injured on the play prior, comes back, makes the tackle. Just a gain of 1 here for Neal.
Well, the message for both teams coming into this week, and I know we talk about this, about football, but what does it really mean on game day? We got to be more physical. We got to be more physical than the other team, and we have got to win in the trenches. It does not matter what kind of fancy toys you have on the outside. If you're not getting it done in the trenches, you can't win ball games.
Daniels, well protected. Escapes the pocket. Throws. End zone. Touchdown. Kansas has the lead. Lawrence Arnold. And the Jayhawks are back in front.
Well, what we're going to see on the replay is that Lawrence Arnold's going to break free. He's lined up in the slot here, and he breaks free from Cox in the coverage a little bit earlier than Jalen Daniels could see him, and that's one of those, the mailbox, right? You got to flip that arm up and let him see it.
Now, even though Kansas had to rebuild their offensive line a little bit this offseason, it is showing out. That was a big-time drive, controlling clock, 8+ minutes, and punctuated with the score.
Welcome back to Champaign. We're going to take a look at that Kansas touchdown. You're going to see Lawrence Arnold highlighted right here. 6'3", 205 against Torrey Cox in man-to-man coverage, 5'9", 170. And you see him just fall there. He tries to collision Lawrence Arnold, but he just can't stay upright. And that's going to happen sometimes when you have undersized defenders playing man-to-man defense. I know that they love playing man. Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator, said they play man-to-man about 80% of the times, but sometimes the offense can force you into matchups that aren't going to work out in your favor.
First touchdown of the season for Arnold, and now does the Illinois offense have a response? A 3-and-out of the opening drive this half. From the goal line, Wiltshire escapes the initial tackle and is brought down at the 20.
All right, Captain Obvious here. Big drive.
Yep.
For the Illini, right? I mean, I think just psychologically, you talk about that drive, what, 7 minutes plus?
Yeah, 8.
8 minutes plus on that drive from Kansas, and they have just been dominating in the trenches.
Well, and you know this too. That was a long, long series for Illinois defensively.
Absolutely.
They need a blow.
Yes, sir. Even on a cool night.
And off first down, snuffed out. What a great play on the Jayhawks defensively with Caleb Taylor breaking through the line and a loss of 1.
Well, J.B. Brown's going to break free. You know, you get all that movement up front, and that's a design stunt. You want to get that movement up front because those offensive linemen have decided who it is that they're going to block. And you get that late movement, and they kind of get lost, and you get free runners.
Fake the sweep. Altmaier steps up, flips it to the outside, and it'll be a short gain for Franklin. And a 3rd and long.
Exactly what you didn't want to happen, right? You wanted to come out, you wanted to possess the ball, you wanted to start stacking up some first downs, but now you're in a 3rd and long situation. And your defense has just faced an 8-minute-plus drive the other way. You want to try and get this first down, but you got to be careful. You don't want that ball going the other way with a turnover.
Just 2 for 8 tonight so far.
Money down for quarterbacks.
4-man rush. Altmaier with time. Steps up in the pocket. Altmaier scanning. Running out of time. Altmaier is swarmed and brought down. Jeremy Robinson there for the sack along with Dean Miller. Both now with sacks in back-to-back weeks to begin the season, and it's a 3-and-out.
Well, this is the proverbial coverage sack. Just nowhere to go with the football for Luke Altmaier. Everybody just blanketed. And credit defensive coordinator Brian Borland and DK McDonald, his defensive backs coach, who was with the Philadelphia Eagles, coaching those guys up on the back end.
Loss of 8, and the Illini will have to punt. Another good one from the Aussie Hugh Robertson. And a good return from KU, nearly up to midfield for Trevor Wilson. 52-yard punt, 15-yard return, short field for Kansas, looking to put the hammer down, up by 4.
Thank you.
Next week, we've got a big one. 17-13 Kansas over Illinois. Alabama at Wisconsin. How about that for Big News Saturday? Jaden Milroe, 4th-ranked Alabama. They'll take on the Badgers in an SEC Big Ten clash. Starts 10 a.m. Big noon kickoff live from Madison, one of my favorite college towns. And then Alabama, Wisconsin at noon on Fox.
Woo! Talk about some beef.
That'll be a good one. Near midfield, Daniels gonna take a shot. Downfield and incomplete, but a flag comes in. Caleb Patterson was trying to come back to the ball, but got tangled up. And it looks like it'll be defensive pass interference.
Yeah, Quentin Skinner is going to break free a little bit earlier on this one. Jalen Daniels a little late getting that ball out, but because he's short with the throw, see Caleb Patterson gets his head around, makes the contact early.
That's a tough call, isn't it,
Hey,
Robert?
it's a tough call.
After discussion, there was no
There you
foul
go.
for defensive pass interference.
They heard you, man.
So it'll be 2nd down. And Lance Leipold is fired up. You don't see him lose his cool like that.
No, you don't. I mean, and of course, he doesn't really care what the replay showed, right? Like it's a call going against your team. Like you're going to be fired up.
What's that they say about the reliability of eyewitness testimony?
I think they say it's not very good.
2nd down. And off Neal. Or rather Highshaw here. A gain of 7 or 8. Coleman, Seth Coleman, one of the captains for Illinois, brought him down. 3rd down. And again, you talk about huge moments in this game. Right now, Kansas is winning the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Illinois needs to get their defense off the field. Lance Leipold still pleading his case, but can no avail. 3rd down.
Lawrence Arnold, all kinds of space to the field on this one.
Pitch to Highshaw. Trying around the corner. Can't get away. This is going to be a generous spot in the end with the ball flying out of bounds. Miles Scott tracked down Highshaw, and it looks like it'll be a half-yard short based on the spot.
Boy, that's a huge play. Remember Miles Scott, he's the green dot on the defense as that post safety, but watch him come inside out on Highshaw on this one and just get enough of the ankles to trip him up, but they're going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
KU has not punted tonight. 4th and about a half yard. They need the 41. And they won't get it. This is going to depend on the spot. By the initial look, he was stopped short, but the second effort brought that ball right to the line to make. And they're going to measure it.
Official timeout for a measurement.
Well, the superimposed line obviously is not always 100%, but if you go by that, it certainly looks like that's first down. I haven't seen a replay yet to see if there was a view that showed that the ball carrier was down before the ball advanced that far.
First down, Kansas. That gives us an opportunity to go to Mike Hill in LA for an all-state game break. Boy, that was a heck of a game earlier today, Mike. So the second effort from Jared Casey gets them the first down. Daniels, shot play, picked off! Third turnover of the night for KU.
Miles Scott does it, the green dot. He had an interception a week ago, and just like a week ago, read in the eyes of the quarterback the whole time. Paid in full like Eric B. and Brock Kim coming over, grabbing the interception. What a play. Illini ball when we get back. Welcome back to a beautiful night for defense here in Champaign, Illinois. This is just textbook by Miles Scott. I want you to watch as Quentin Skinner releases on this play. He's going to go down the middle of the field, but watch that number 1 receiver. As soon as he stops, Miles Scott at safety knows that route is closed. He's no longer a threat, but he doesn't come right off of the hash, right off of the numbers to go to Skinner. He baits Jalen Daniels into that throw. Beautiful pick.
Illinois' defense has now forced 7 turnovers in their first 2 games, and they have a first down to begin this drive. It's Zachary Franklin picking up 19 in the final minute of the third quarter. How about this for the Illinois defense? You've been talking about it, Robert. 21 defensive drives, 7 turnovers forced. Impressive.
Unbelievable, but you know, it's got to be a full team effort, right? And that's a thing that the coaches harp on all of the time. Talk about attention to detail. All phases of the game have to carry their weight.
First time they've gotten a first down this half. Allmeyer dropped the handoff, and he somehow pitches it back to McCray. Something out of nothing on that play. Otherwise, it could have been disaster. And the clock will tick down to the end of the third quarter, and Illinois' defense has kept them in this game, even when their offense has sputtered like that. The defense has outscored their own offense. It's a 4-point game as we head to the fourth quarter in Champaign. Do the Illini have a statement in them as we head to the fourth? 17-13, Kansas on the road at Illinois. Grange made an appearance before the start of the fourth quarter. Maybe he's not as fast as he used to be. Look at this race.
I don't know, man. I wasn't crazy about the drive phase, the start for the amateur, if you will, there. But I got to tell you, his full speed stride was too much for the Ghost.
It's a year's worth of free sandwiches.
He's not going to be running like that next year.
Well, after that incompletion, here's a big moment now as we begin the fourth quarter. This will be a 3rd and long for Illinois. We've talked about how their defense has kept them in the game. Well, now their offense has to do something.
And just the worst possible situation, right? Backed up on your own end. 3rd and 15. Everybody's yelling, watch the screen, watch the draw, but they're lined up in man-to-man coverage. Kansas is challenging them, so they're probably going to bring some pressure, try and get that ball out of Altmaier's hands quickly.
4-man front, Altmaier, incomplete. And it's 4th down.
I love Brian Borland, defensive coordinator. He shows that high pressure look, but everybody drops out and plays coverage and they actually play zone. So you give that man look, you give that pressure look, and that speeds up the process in the quarterback's mind saying, hey, I got to get rid of the ball quickly. And all of a sudden, they're in zone catching all of those routes. Nowhere to go with the ball.
Here's the 31-year-old Hugh Robertson from Melbourne, Australia. Not a great punt this time, but it takes another Illinois bounce. It'll wind up being a decent number at 44 yards. Well, the Illinois defense, they're keeping their team in it. It's been a great night, starting with the 2 picks from Xavier Scott.
Yeah, they've just been all over the place. You can see Coleman running that play down, and then Caleb Patterson stopping the ball, keeping the conversion from happening. Miles Scott coming over, making an interception from his safety spot. They really have kept them in the ball game tonight, and they're still playing that man-to-man defense. They should have extra bodies in the box to stop the run.
Neal, another brilliant cut. And a great run on 1st down. A gain of 7.
Man, he shook Dylan Rosecheck on that one. And Neal, we talk about that lateral movement. Watch this. He just sets him up, sets him up, sets him up, and then breaks that thing back to the inside. Makes him so dangerous. He anticipates the flow of those linebackers at the second level so well. And because he has such great lateral movement, able to cover a lot of ground with those cuts. We saw him earlier make a miss with a nice subtle move in the hole. He's got the full complement of tools.
Play action. Daniels in the tight coverage and incomplete. Intended for Luke Grimm. Devin Neal and his prowess. Back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Top 5 in the Big 12 last year. He got him that nice run on 1st down, giving him a 3rd and short here.
Xavier Scott, you could see him reaching back for his hamstring. He was in coverage on that one. I don't know if Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator from Kansas, was able to see that, but you got to try if he's playing man-to-man to go after him.
Daniels to throw again down the sideline, incomplete, intended for Skinner, with Patterson in coverage. And so Kansas with a rare 3 and out.
Yeah, that was just too much on the ball from Jalen Daniels right there. We've seen that a few times today, though. He's kind of dialed up the wrong pitch a number of times, either a little bit too much or too little on it. And that time just put way too much air on it.
In fact, their first 3 and out tonight, and we'll see their punter for the first time, Damon Greaves, another Aussie. Greaves, end over end, curling kick is booted. Free ball right in front of the goal line. Illinois on top of it. We'll wait for the signal.
It's going to be safety.
It should be. Mac Rasetic got back to it.
Safety if you're lucky, right? I mean, could be a touchdown if Kansas was on it. I think they're going to say that. Well, I guess if that ball isn't caught cleanly,
yeah, it would be a touchback if
here.
Illinois recovered it.
Just a touchback, not a safety.
Covered by the receiving team in the end zone. The result of play is a touchback.
Just because it wasn't caught cleanly, that it was a muff.
One more look. Mac Rasetic dodges a bullet. 17-13 Kansas here in Champaign. Let's bring in Dean Blandino after that muffed punt And can you clarify the rule here and how this works?
Sure. So the key is the ball was dead in the end zone. Illinois did recover. How did it get there? The fact that the punt was muffed, it wasn't possessed and fumbled. Now, the responsibility is still on the kicking team because they put it in the opponent's end zone. So just like a kickoff or a punt that lands in the end zone and is down, it ends up being a touchback.
It winds up being a positive play in the end for Illinois. I think they wound up with what, the +7 based on where the catch would have been made.
And Dean, for clarification, if that ball is muffed and it wasn't put into the end zone by the Kansas player but recovered by Illinois, is that and then tackled down there, is that a safety or is that a touchdown?
So if the kicking team had recovered, it would have been a touchdown. That would have been the key. Once it's muffed, now the kicking team's eligible to recover, and since they would recover it in the end zone, that would be 6 points.
No, we'll ask that one later.
Altmaier delivers down the sideline. Pat Bryant reels it in near midfield. A gain of 37 for Illinois.
Boy, and Pat Bryant had a couple of big catches a week ago. Nice back shoulder touchdown catch, gets away with a little push off there at the end. That's Mello Dotson, who was in on the coverage. Oh, he didn't control. I don't know. Did he control that thing? I'm going to take another look at that. If he controlled that thing to the ground. Get both feet down. And then make a football move, but looked like he was going to the ground and didn't control it. Too late now.
Altmaier facing heat is knocked down. Marvin Grant. He's been a presence tonight for the Kansas defense. Altmaier is sacked, a loss of 7, second down.
Bring more than they can block. You have Cornell Wheeler, number 44, is going to come off the edge. Caden Fagan's, the left tackle is going to make that block. J.C. Davis. That allows Grant to run free.
Kansas defense with 6 tackle for losses tonight. Marvin Grant leading the way in total with 7 tackles for KU. Second down and 17. Altmaier takes off. Altmaier with some running room. First down for Illinois. And you forget about how good Altmaier could be running the football.
And watch the blocks by number 3, Caden Fagan, his running back, and number 13, Pat Bryant on the outside. We talked about Luke Altmaier earlier, not the fastest guy in the world, but did everything he needed to do, knew exactly where the sticks were. Didn't go with the slide, went head first, make sure he got that first down.
18 yards for Altmaier, their longest run play of the night. Altmaier, time running out, looking to the end zone. Contested ball, it's incomplete. Kobe Bryant in coverage on Zachary Franklin, and it's second down.
Boy, these guys are so good. We talk about them being best cornerbacks in the conference, maybe even the country. See him completely in phase there, meaning he's running with the receiver. Does a great job really staying off of him so he doesn't draw a flag. Times it perfectly, gets a hand in there and knocks it away.
Number 19, Kansas. A tenuous lead, 17-13. Illinois going to keep it on the ground here, but this play snuffed out by the Kansas defense. Cornell Wheeler coming up with the stop on Caden Fagan. And it's third down.
I mean, it's really kind of shocking that we're in this situation in the game, right? Just kind of what's happened with the time of possession and the way that Kansas has moved the ball offensively. Great opportunity here, even on 3rd and 10 for Illinois to be right back in this thing, either with a field goal attempt or maybe even 6.
Well, Kansas should have a larger lead. They've turned the ball over 3 times tonight. Illinois hasn't taken full advantage. They do have the pick 6. Altmaier got his man inside the 5. It's Bryant. First down and goal for Illinois on a pass play of 28. And Altmaier took another shot at the end of the play.
Perfect pass here. Altmaier staring down the big hit he knew he was going to be taking. Nice play from Pat Bryant, makes a move to the inside, comes back to the outside, little post corner. Burrows from his safety spot just wasn't able to cover enough ground to get back over.
28 yards on 3rd and 10. First and goal at the 1-yard line. Altmaier under center. Handoff, Fagan, touchdown! Illinois has the lead again. Fourth lead change of the night. And the Illini are back on top.
You don't need to be fancy if you're big. And they go big, old school fashion. Tanner Arkin, number 85, leading up for 250-pound Caden Fagan. He dominated at the line of scrimmage on that one, brought extra bodies to the party with a little bit of gap, old school ISO, and get it in for 6.
Just over 9.5 to go in the 4th quarter. The extra point is good. And the Fighting Illini looking for their first upset over a ranked team in 5 years.
REO Speedwagon says, hey, you take it on the run, baby, or I don't want you around. But the Illini now with the lead.
MS1 College Football is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay. What a good one we've got here in Champaign. Alex Faust, Robert Smith here with you. Next Friday, a new era of college football kicks off in prime time. Fox College Football on Friday nights. A new Big 12 school, 20th ranked Arizona, takes on number 17 K-State. Fox College Football Friday, 8 Eastern, all season long. That'll be a fun one. 20-17, our 4th lead change here tonight. Block I having a lot of fun. Student section here at Illinois. They haven't seen an upset over a ranked team since October of 2019. Caden Fagan with a 1-yard touchdown run. Illinois out in front. And it's funny because it started with that muffed punt. We thought it was disaster for Illinois at the time, but they marched down the field, 8 plays, 80 yards. They only had 17 yards all half before that drive. Good coverage here. Still some pushing and shoving as the whistles go. James Kreutz again on the coverage. And so Jalen Daniels and his Jayhawks offense, which has turned the ball over 3 times tonight. 3 interceptions thrown. After last season, granted, it was a small sample size for Daniels, who was shut down for the first month of the year, only threw 1. Still.
I say go back to the run. You've been dominating up front. Lean on Devin Neal in that run game.
Daniels is dropped. Dennis Briggs and Dylan Rosiak both there for Illinois.
Big Dennis Briggs, the transfer from Florida State, staying at home there. And I'm not sure what Jalen Daniels was reading on that one. Looked like that one should have been a give read, but he decided to hang on to it and paid the price.
It's gotten loud here in a hurry. Handoff, Neal, stutter step, and that late surge. It's been so hard to read for the Illinois defense. Alec Bryant making the tackle. It's 3rd down.
Well, I love the patience there, though, by Devin Neal, but this puts you in a situation you have got to make a play here. But you also have to be careful. We've seen Jalen Daniels make some questionable throws, having trouble gauging the speed and trajectory of the ball. If he ends up throwing here, make sure it doesn't end up in the Illini defense's hands.
Neal now up over 100 yards. Daniels, pocket collapsing, scrambling, throwing, nearly picked. And it's a 3-and-out for KU.
Dangerous throw there. Daniels on the run. It's a typical throw to make. Trying to get the ball to Trevor Cardell. Miles Scott, leader on that defense, and defensive coordinator Aaron Henry can't say enough good things about that guy. He's an athlete, he can sing, academic, can do it all. Big opportunity there for the Jayhawks. And missed on third down.
Now back-to-back 3-and-outs for Kansas. A delayed punt by the Aussie, rugby style. Drives this one, takes a Kansas bounce across the 35. Going to be picked up anyway here by Hank Beatty. Tried to round the corner. He picks up 7 on the return after the 51-yard punt. Illinois ball with the lead, looking for the upset here in Champaign. Illinois with the lead, 20-17. Pat Bryant, big reception on the last drive after the muffed punt. Look at this near midfield.
Well, a tremendous play. Again, we saw this from him last week. Great placement on the ball. See the excitement. Big opportunity here now for Kansas to rise up like that Illinois defense has risen up so many times today.
That catch inside the 5 of the 1-yard line came on a 3rd down and 10. Last possession for Illinois was their only touchdown drive of the night from their offense.
But really amazing. Talk about all phases of the game, but that turnover ratio is why it's so important. You know, you're -2 in the turnover ratio just puts you in a difficult spot. But we knew this was going to be a great game coming in, right? I mean, from the environment to what these teams have done over the last couple of years. Watch toss here.
Fake the pitch. Altmaier being chased down. Looking for the escape valve there, and Henry Boyer is tied in.
Well, that's a good play call there, though, because Barry Lunney, what we've seen from this Illinois offense, they go quick to the line of scrimmage. They come out in that bunch formation, and then they go to the toss, and they fake the toss that time. Get Altmaier rolling out the other way. Just wasn't able to find anybody open.
Give credit to this Kansas defense. They forced Altmaier to be on his toes. Six tackles for loss for KU defensively. 4-man rush. Altmaier with time, well protected, and dumps it off underneath to Fagan for the first down.
Nice job by Altmaier here. You can see him scanning the field, going through his reads. Starts off to the right, goes back to his left, and hits Caden Fagan on the outlet. We talked about the size of Caden Fagan, and when guys come up to tackle him, they're generally going to be going low. He doesn't go for the hurdle move, but all he needed to do was fall forward there to get the first down.
Now you start thinking about that clock a bit. 6:20 and ticking. On first down, Altmaier the handoff, thrown up in the backfield. Another tackle for loss for Kansas tonight. Tommy Dunn and Cornell Wheeler there.
And Tommy Dunn, we've seen this a couple of times from him. Watch that quick movement right over the center. That quick win pushes him out of the way. Just an absolute jailbreak. Everybody winning up front along that defensive line, stopping that run.
Interesting time to give the true freshman, Lil Valentine, a touch. Loss of 2, 2nd down and 12. As we approach 5.5 to play in regulation time.
Start off an empty, see if we get some motion here.
That's Valentine put in motion. And play is stopped. Timeout called by Illinois.
A big down here, get a 2nd and 12. You do not want to be in 3rd and long in a situation like this.
Well, this would be a statement for Illinois, no doubt. Kansas is among the many considered a championship contender in the Big 12. They've had just 4 winning seasons since a 10-2 run to the Sugar Bowl under Ron Turner in 2001, Illinois. And in the 134-year history of Illinois football, just 15 times they've had 8 or more wins. But you look at the turnout on a night like tonight, coming off a 5-7 season, selling out the joint. And let's be clear, Kansas hasn't been a national power for a long time. Illinois plays in the Big Ten. Think about the teams that come in here on the regular.
I mean, this is just awesome. It's so much fun to watch, and especially, you looked at the scene last year with Kansas. Lance Leipold came in the same time as Travis Goff, the AD. They've really got something going.
Play action from Altmaier. Throwing down the sideline, off the hands of Tanner Arkin, the tight end. One of the team captains, and it's 3rd down.
Taiwan Berryhill on the coverage. Oh, just didn't quite get enough air on that one. Trajectory just a little bit off. You throw that ball a little bit low and allows Berryhill to get his hands in the way. Just enough of a distraction.
They're down at 12. Altmaier, well protected. Altmaier throws up his back foot along the sideline. It is caught. Franklin, who had that spectacular one-handed grab earlier tonight. And that's a critical one right at the marker.
This is just tremendous route running. Watch, he gets to the full depth that allows him to come back for the football, not get any more yardage, and still get the first down. Tremendous route running and execution, and a great block on the front side by Caden Fagan.
They're going to review this just to make sure he got it.
We missed out on a touchdown a week ago on a review early in the game.
Well, a couple things here, too. 1, is it a catch? 2, is it a first down?
Well, that's a great point. Let's see. I don't think that's first down. I don't know if they moved that marker on. Oh, no, it is. Old man eyes right there. No depth perception. See where that mark is. And remember, that's not official over there. The chains would be official, but it looks like even with where that ball is and where it crosses out of bounds, that it would still be a first down.
Yeah, he needed the 45, and it's right there. Here's the call.
After review, the play down the field is confirmed of a catch.
That's a huge first down for the Illini with 5:02 to go, and the clock will start once again.
Well, a little bit different now with the 2-minute, don't call it a warning, timeout. Calculus is slightly different, but with 3 timeouts here, you don't want to give up 2 first downs.
Last drive, they had that huge 3rd and 10 conversion to set up just in front of the goal line. Here on a 3rd and 12 to move the chains. 5 minutes to play. Handoff, Valentine. The freshman getting some reps here in the 4th quarter. Picks up 4 on first down. We're talking about the context for Illinois and how big of a win this would be to set the tone for their season. How about for Kansas? And a tone they needed to set potentially to keep a loss away from their record for the committee later in the year. Coming off back-to-back bowl appearances for just the 2nd time in program history. Huge opportunity on the road against a Big Ten opponent. But they trail here by 3 late in this game.
Well, I was going to say for Lance Leipold, though, just one day, one play at a time. That's all that he thinks about. They still have an opportunity here to get a stop.
Valentine again has the first down. Forced out by Marvin Grant. And that clock keeps ticking. The chains keep moving.
Yeah, and that thing's going to wind down. Of course, going out of bounds won't stop the clock until they're underneath that 2-minute timeout. So dangerous territory here, getting that first down. Kansas is running out of time, and you don't get a stop here, they may get an opportunity to get a field goal as well. Could be 6.
On a drive that's 4+ minutes and counting.
And they're milking it.
Yep. Why wouldn't you? Kansas is going to have to start thinking about those timeouts before that 2-minute timeout. On the ground again with Valentine. This time he's met in the backfield. Cornell Wheeler with the tackle. Second down.
So they're going to be able to get this thing down to that, not on this play, but they're going to get that thing down to that 2-minute timeout if Kansas doesn't call a timeout. And you could see coaches on the sideline this year. It's a little bit different. This happens, as we know, in the NFL. You know, there are coaches assigned really to tell the head coach when to make those decisions.
Handoff. Valentine surges ahead, but he's going to be well short of the line to make. It's going to be third down, and timeout is called by Kansas. 2:32 remaining in regulation. All right, what would you do here if you're Illinois? Do you throw, try to get the first down, try to take this to that 2-minute timeout and really put the screws to KU? Or do you run the ball, maybe set up a fourth down situation or a field goal attempt here?
Well, you've got Alano in his first season, right? He's been sitting on the sideline. I don't know if you want to put it on the kicker in a situation like that. You know, I think you talk about the number of bad things that can happen when you drop back to throw the ball. I think you try and lean on that run game, see if you can get a little bit closer here. I don't put this thing in the air.
David Alano hit from 50 earlier tonight. This will be about the same distance, maybe 49 from this spot. In the same direction, mind you. But first, here's this third down play. And the game could hinge on this. Kansas bringing the heat. Valentine with a first down. How about the freshman coming out of nowhere in the fourth quarter? And a couple of big runs for the Illini, picking up 10 here to move the sticks.
Run it all the way down to that 2-minute warning, and he cuts this thing back beautifully, but you can't cut this back. Offensive line isn't doing their job. You can see them getting up to the second level, getting him free to the safety, untouched. And for the way that the Kansas offensive and defensive lines had dominated early in this game, it's really been the Illinois offensive line that's allowed them to hang on to the ball here, hanging on to a 3-point lead at the 2-minute timeout.
Can Illinois finish the deal? 2 minutes to go. First down for the Illini at the Kansas 21. This drive, they have converted a 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 6. 4 in a row they've converted on third down after going 2 for their first 10. And they have a chance with a first down and a little more clock milked to put this one to bed. 2 timeouts remaining for Kansas. Altmaier the handoff, and why not go back to Valentine, who's been terrific for them on this drive late. Khalil Valentine, the freshman, as Kansas calls their first of 2 remaining. Freshman from Hayward, California, went to high school in Arizona. A couple of clutch first downs for the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, and if they don't get too aggressive here, I mean, you want to at least walk away with 3, right? And because Kansas has another timeout, they're going to have some time. So if Illinois does not get a first down, Kansas would get the ball back about a minute 5, minute 10, and have an opportunity to drive the field. If they make the field goal, assuming they make the field goal, drive the field to try and at least tie it up or go ahead.
Minute 55. Loss of 1 on that play, but the yardage at this rate probably doesn't matter a ton. Clock is the main friend of the Fighting Illini right now. On second down, handed to Caden Fagan. And as he runs it right up the gut, stopped at the line of scrimmage. Third down, timeout for Kansas, their final one. First down at this point would win the game. Do you dare throw the ball?
No! No way you throw the ball. You know, you try and run it here, and then if you don't get the first down, you kick a field goal to go up 6, right? Like that's, or to attempt to go up 6, but there's no way you get this thing up in the air. Protect the points here.
Yep. Illinois finished 5-7 last year. Got one more kind of cupcake non-conference game, if you will, Central Michigan. Then at Nebraska, a team that's looking really good in the Big Ten this year, and that'll kick off their conference slate. Brutal conference schedule.
But Matt Rule's done a heck of a job with that program.
Yeah.
Of course, next week.
But I tell you what, this has given this Illinois team a ton of confidence. The way they've bounced back from kind of a poor showing offensively in the first half. Their defense kept them in it. 3 takeaways. And this quarter, controlling possession, 128 yards. Third down and 8.
Well, you can't go to sleep if you're Kansas here, right? Still got to stop them.
Fake the pitch. Allmeyer in trouble, and he's sacked. That makes the field goal a little bit more difficult. Dylan Woodkey with the sack. And it's fourth down. That clock will tick down to about a minute. A little over.
It's going to be an interesting finish, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
There's no such thing as a gimme field goal from this distance, right?
Can you feel the tension in the building, by the way?
I can, and I love it. Doesn't get any better than this, man.
There is a murmur in the crowd here.
This is it's like a pin drop, man. They're like, wait a second, okay.
So Illinois calls timeout with 1:03 to go.
And you know, maybe if you're an Illinois fan, you know, it's that thing, you know, because they lost so many close games last year, you're like, oh, come on, man, you guys are going to kick the field goal, and then they're going to drive down the field and win the game. See, you can see it on his face. He looks worried too.
And from that
She's just cold.
From that standpoint, how about Kansas here and a chance to pull off a great escape in a game where they didn't play all that well?
Oh no, and that's great. I mean, no matter what happens at the end of the day, it's great lessons for both teams, right? You have to pay attention to the details. You have to play the whole game, and it sounds like a bunch of coach speak, but that's exactly what this game is, man. You know, people outside the game, you don't understand just how much little plays matter. You don't get to choose which ones mean the most.
All right, here we go. 43-yard attempt for David Alano. He hit from 50 earlier tonight to give Illinois a 6-point lead. Snap good, hold good, kick is good. And now Kansas needs a touchdown. No timeouts in 58 seconds. Tell you what, good job clock management too from Illinois on that drive. 6+ minutes, wound up 6:46 on that drive. Red
Game
Bielema
I'm sorry, gave the Jayhawks a little bit of their medicine from the third quarter,
Yes.
right?
Yes. This program coming into the season with a highly ranked recruiting class, a lot of optimism, with some veterans coming back sprinkled in, but can they finish the game?
And remember when Brett Bielema talked to us about the training of the program, right? Strength and conditioning,
Yep.
and just how they had worked in such meticulous detail. And I know everybody talks about that, right? But when you talk about a team outperforming one group, one unit, when you're talking about what happens in the trenches, that's when it matters most. I'm not saying that Illinois necessarily has a better strength and conditioning program, because I'll tell you what, Jayhawks got a chance right here.
So here we go with under a minute to play. Fair catch call. We saw the Jayhawks move up tempo at the end of the first half. Different circumstance here, no doubt, with no timeouts. And with the arm of Jalen Daniels that's been a bit wobbly, he's thrown 3 picks tonight.
But don't forget about the legs of Jalen Daniels as well, and especially in these situations where if you're playing man-to-man, you've got your back turned. We know about the heavy dose of man that you get from Illinois. You have to be careful if Jalen Daniels escapes.
They'll start from the 25. They need to go 75 yards. Daniels looking for the out route, but tackled in the field of play. It's Luke Grimm, and the clock will move. 50 seconds and ticking. 8 of 7.
Got to get that thing by the sticks. You can't do that too many more times. Gonna run out of opportunities.
A lot of time coming off the clock. 10 plus seconds. Daniels dropping back, looking to the sideline. This ball is caught in the field of play by Skinner. It's a first down. They'll stop the clock briefly to move the chains. 34 seconds remaining. Again, no timeouts for Kansas.
Rather than clocking it, they're going to try and get a play off.
Ready for play. Another 3, 4, 5 seconds come off the clock. Daniels dropping back with time. Looks to the sideline. Underthrown, intended for Grimm. It's incomplete with 22 seconds to go.
Yeah, one hops it out there to Grimm, and you got to have a plan here. You know, you lost just an extra 3 or 4 seconds getting into formation right there. You only have so many opportunities. You're better off sometimes just going up and clocking and at least having 3 more chances, because you know you're going to go for it on 4th down.
That first play of the series really hurt. And now with just 22 seconds, they're running out of options. On 2nd down, Daniels scrambling. Time coming off the clock as he scampers out of bounds with 13 remaining.
So now, of course, it depends on the plays that you're doing, but you probably got 2 shots here, right? So you go for some sort of intermediate throw.
That play took 9 seconds.
That was the scramble that goes out of bounds. So if you have some sort of intermediate 10 to 15 yard throw here to try and get yourself in position for that Hail Mary. But got to be one where you get out of bounds. You're not going to have time to kill the clock.
Daniels out route complete. Grimm is out with 8 seconds to play into plus territory. How many plays do you think you have here?
Well, that was 50. I mean, they only used 5 seconds on that one. You got 1, maybe 2. Because you're going to need that time to get down to the goal line, right? So that play right there almost had to be deep enough for the next play to be your shot play. Because that 45-yard line, receivers need that much time to get downfield unless you're hoping for a penalty.
Incomplete pass behind Grimm, and now they have to go for it all.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Well, there is, but if that same chance is to yield any result, it's going to take a prayer.
And Just what a great environment. It's such a cool night.
Timeout call. Illinois will use their final timeout. What a game for Illinois. Not playing their best at times in this game, but their defense stepped up. Xavier Scott with a first half to remember. 2 picks, including the pick 6, that gave them the lead. Looking for their first upset over a ranked team since beating Wisconsin in this building in October of 2019.
What else can you say? You give yourself a chance at least, right?
3 back at the goal line for Illinois. Everybody on their feet at Memorial Stadium. They start the play clock. Does Jalen Daniels have a miracle in him?
We've seen magic before. Why not now? And they're going to bring the blitz.
Daniels has some time. Ball knocked out of his hands, and that will do it.
And who do you think made that play? Xavier Scott comes in late, knocks it away, and robs Jalen Daniels with the opportunity to go for the Hail Mary ball.
Illinois with an early statement, knocking off number 19 Kansas, and they rush the field here in Champaign.
Well, you can see the emotion there. Girl dad emotion, I know it myself. Fred Bielema and his staff very happy, especially the way that they had played earlier in this game and really had been dominated up front. But the turnovers and then the physical play in the fourth quarter along that offensive line where they wore that clock out made the difference.
Fred Bielema, an Illinois native himself. Some have questioned, especially their record. They had a couple of 5-7 seasons in the last couple years. Whether this Illinois team has what it takes to climb up a stacked, deep, large Big Ten conference. But they are 2-0 for the first time under Bret Bielema as they knock off number 19 Kansas here in Champaign. For Robert Smith and our entire crew, this is Alex Faust bidding you a good evening as Illinois takes down Kansas as we send you to Los Angeles for more college football coverage.